my name is Linda Krauth and I'm going to show you how to interact with my new digital poem, The Songbird Speaks. So I have it here loaded onto my phone. This is a work that really only works for smartphones. It's specifically made for smartphones. So this is the way to access it via the web page of the publisher. So if I go here and I click on begin, it's going to load it for me. It might take a minute. It might ask you for some permissions to be able to use your phone's microphone. And that's fine because that's what the work needs to do. It's not trying to listen to you. It's trying to listen to magpies that might be in your local area around you. So you have to be outside. You have a part to play in this work. So we've now loaded the front page of the work. I press enter, and it's when I press enter that it's going to load the audio model. This is it loading. This is the loading page. It might take a minute for it to come up. And now you can see that it's loaded, but there are no magpies right here where I'm currently sitting. So it's just listening. So because of that, because I'm sitting in my office and I don't have magpies right here, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to play you a bit of sample sounds of magpies making noise so we can see how it works. So you can actually access that also via the digital review page. So I've also got it loaded up here on my computer. This is the same page where you can access the work via your phone. And if you scroll down here, if you're not near some magpies, you can get some audio. So what it's doing is it's picking up small bits of that audio that it recognizes and it's turning that into a line of a poem. So over the course of a longer magpie song or warble, you'll get an entire poem out of the work. And so I implore you to take the work outside to near magpies that are in your local area, or if not, you can just go to YouTube or go to the publisher's website where I've uploaded some sample audio, or find your own sample audio so that you can see how this work functions.
Australian magpies are known for their incredibly impressive improvisational singing abilities. Their songs sit outside of their general communicative vocalizations. These are songs that appear to be sung for no other reason than to sing, or perhaps as general territorial displays. The Australian magpie's songs are combinatory, in that they recombine and remix their own phrases to create vocalizations that can appear to be novel as the song progresses. As a digital poet and a machine learning technologist, I am intrigued by the connection between Australian magpies' abilities for combinatory song and the creative expressions of digital poets in combinatory poetry across the history of Fluxus, Oulipo, and postmodern digital literature. You could say that magpies are inherently Oulipoan in their approach to warbling, as if following an algorithm that recombines auditory information in a way that one might compare to Raymond Queneau's 1 Million Poems from 1961, or for a more contemporary example, Nick Monfort and Stephanie Strickland's See and Spar Between from 2010. Why am I telling you about the combinatory techniques of magpies? Well, Firstly, because it's tremendously interesting, but importantly, because this is explored in my new work of digital poetry, The Songbird Speaks. The Songbird Speaks is a first of its kind digital poem and interspecies vocalization translator, in the form of a poem that must listen to magpies singing in order to function, having been developed using machine learning and combinatory poetry techniques. It can listen to the combinatory songs of Australian magpies and translate those into digital poetry in real time. Presented as a digital interface for mobile phones that have inbuilt microphones, members of the public can open the AI model, ask it to listen to Australian magpies in situ, and then see written translations of the animal's voice in real time via their phone screen. It is currently capable of understanding 68 different magpie song parts, such that if a magpie were to sing in listening range of your phone, it could give translations for any vocalization combinations that audibly correspond with any of those 68 known options. This means that as a poet, I wrote 68 lines of poetry that the digital interface can recombine using artificially intelligent methods. It recombines these lines of poetry based entirely on the vocalizations being produced by a magpie near you. This means you as the mobile phone user must allow your phone to listen to magpies by standing near them. Yes, you have a part to play in this poem to find magpies in your backyard or local area and take your phone close enough to listen in on their conversation. The work uses cutting-edge experimental and innovative techniques in the development of audio recognition AI models for interpreting the communications of magpies in real time, and then uses techniques from combinatory and algorithmic poetry creation to present that data in a human language. It required the development of a vocalization corpus for Australian magpies on which to teach an AI model. Such a corpus and model did not previously exist for this species, as models for species beyond humans are perhaps seen as less important both to culture and to technology. While this technology would be particularly useful in science or citizen science applications for instance, finding and interacting with wild magpies, I present it here as innovative poetry. This interface does not look like the UI design of currently popular translator systems such as Google Translate. Instead, I want to explore the notion that animal communications shouldn't be imagined as straightforward and easily interpretable. Instead, I want them to require multimodal, poetic interpretation that is only possible through digital technologies, and a linguistic awkwardness that reveals animal speakers as mysterious rather than simple-minded. The process of developing the Songbird Speaks has involved research into the known and observable signals, which means vocalizations, of Australian magpies, audio recording fieldwork, choosing strong audio samples, audio classification of those samples into classes, and then teaching those classes to an AI. Then importantly, it required considering how to present the outcomes of this as human written poetry. I use supervised machine learning, which means I create a Magpie AI model that is taught on vocalizations that I have gathered through fieldwork. But rather than allow the AI to decide for itself which vocalization is which, I teach this to the AI. The Magpie AI model does not use reinforcement learning, meaning the public cannot disrupt or change what the model has learnt. This results in a narrow AI, an AI model made for one specific purpose, drawing from one specific corpus of data. To put this into a more simple context, imagine an AI is taught everything it needs to know to sit a big multiple choice exam, where each question represents a different magpie song bit or part of a song. Its job is to take that exam and answer each question correctly by selecting the correct translation. It is also constantly barraged with trick questions, which are the myriad of other environmental sounds around the sounds of a magpie for which it must not react. The Songbird Speaks is born from a Leonardo Imagination Fellowship for Technological and Artistic Innovation, sponsored by Leonardo Journal and the Arizona State University Center for Science and the Imagination. This fellowship allowed me to ask a big, imaginative, speculative, science fiction-inspired question, and to then address that question through creative and technological development. The question that I chose to ask was, how can machine learning and artificially intelligent models help us to imagine animal vocalizations in human language poetry? It is currently being featured in 3 yet-to-be-released academic articles about innovation in digital poetry and artificial intelligence in Leonardo Journal, the world's leading journal on the intersection between art, science, and technology, and Matlit Journal, slated for release in 2024 and 2025. What would a future look like where humans can, more simply and directly, understand the communication signals of other species? What does it mean for society, for culture, or for religion, for our moral values, for our inbuilt biases regarding who is labeled conscious and thinking and who isn't? What would it mean for food production, for animal agriculture, for companionship? What would it mean for our philosophies and humanities, for our misguided human exceptionalism in Western culture? Or would it change nothing at all? Would humans continue to inflict harm and oppression towards other species, no matter what they might say? We are a species capable of great atrocities, but I hope that perhaps with a little nudge from the right technologies that we can reconsider our relations to other species.